Uh-huh.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
We gonna do what they say can't be done.
All right, yeah.
Hell yeah! How you doing, good buddy?
Oh man, 10-4. Here we are, live on YouTube. It's been a little while. This is what do we call this? Robe stream.
Yeah.
This is live from the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah. I'm in the pool house out back.
Oh, okay. All right.
I made a little pallet in the grotto.
Nice. All right, dude. Well, we dropped some. How you doing this morning, Kelsey?
Doing good as always, man. I wake up groggy, and then I remember, oh, I'm still alive. Let me make the most of this day.
Amen. All right. So we dropped some hot bombs yesterday. I guess everybody saw that.
Exciting.
Yeah. So overall impressions?
Hey, I think anything less than monumental appraise and appreciation and absolute godsmack being floored by this news is somewhat underwhelming. I mean, this is huge, and just wait until the normie crowd gets a hold of it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't have a better guy at my side. An amazing. Everybody's freaking awesome. Involved with Allegiance and what we're doing. I don't know what to say other than it's. I think we've found a group of really great creators, and we've got great books.
I love it.
And the future is very bright,
dude. Yeah, the futurist is very bright. I mean, the future is very bright. No, I mean, I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm having a blast, like creating, and what I was hopeful for. And this is why I didn't jump on a lot of other deals. If I can get real practical here, is because I didn't want to do a one-off. You know, I do. I have like little shorts that I'd love to do, especially for the community. But I wanted something that would assure my future. You know, that I would have a place to continue to make books and stories. And I didn't really see any of that being developed except for here. And I saw a future with you and what you're doing, and the possibility of making countless stories. And that's really what I care about. I want to be one of those old school guys, like of course, Kirby, man. He cranked it out, the thousands of pages. And I want nothing less. I think that should be the goal for every comic book artist. Story, crank it out.
Yes. And that's what our aim is. So our aim is true. We're out there with a mission. We're on a mission from God. We need sunglasses. Great story, getting great stories and great art made, combining them together and then putting them into the wild to win over new fans, to ignite the imaginations of young men and women again. And just that's it, man. That's pure and simple. That's it. It's not about our egos. Even though Kelsey and I have a little bit of an ego.
Well, dude, everybody.
But it's not about that. It's not about that. It just took that to get here. Now we got to put that aside and fight together.
You really can't do this without ego. I mean, I often said I have no pride. You know, I try to keep my ego in check. And for the most part, I'm successful. But I think in order to do this at all, the ego gives you the courage to put something out and have people debate whether or not it's good. I mean, that takes a certain level of ego. So I'll have to admit to that. I do have a little bit of ego.
Yeah, it takes it. You got to have a little bit, right? I mean,
but I don't need much because
I'm out there,
and I know it's going to work out. So,
yeah, agreed. All right, thank you, James Dean Anderson, $2. Proud of you too. James Dean Anderson is now the owner of Cautionary Comics. So I expect big things from James Dean Anderson in the future. Right. So, yeah, you know that? Yeah, he bought it from Ben Henderson. So
I hope Ben's doing well. Is he still involved?
I don't know. It's been so busy, but I need to reach and
I
figure out what he's doing.
I lose touch of a lot of folks, and I try to make it, please don't take it personal. I still need to call David Williams. He's been trying to call me for weeks. I get caught in my my little bubble of creation, and like everything else disappears. So like I try real hard to stay in touch. That's why I gave, you guys just text me, if it comes through text, then I know it's probably serious.
Yeah. So I hope that I'm going to read my letter just so in case we've been talking now for like 10 minutes and some people may have no idea what the hell we're talking about. So I'm going to read the letter and just so, because I want everybody to know why I had to leave Backers in the dark for so long, what we've been doing, why Kelsey, Blake, David Williams, Kevin Grievix, Eric Weathers, Elizabeth Breitweiser, Patrick Stiles, Butch Geis, Rick Magyar, and other people who you have not met yet behind the scenes that are Legion staff are doing this all with us. This is finally making sense now for people. So I want to inspire everybody to, I hope you guys will lift this all up. This isn't about me. It's not about Elizabeth. It's not about Kelsey. This is about making great books and winning fans and winning them through great art and story. And that's it, man. Just through achievement and excellence and inspiring stuff. So anyway, I'm going to read the letter. Give me a second to find it. Okay, here it is. All right, here we go.
Yeah, good heartfelt stuff. I love it.
All right. It says, this was sent yesterday at 3:57 p.m. Central Time as a campaign update for Red Rooster. So here we go. Title reads, Mea Culpa, Future of Red Rooster. Hello, everyone. Your book is late, and I am deeply sorry. While this is in no way an excuse for the late delivery of these books, I want to provide some context for how I lost control of the production schedule. Here is the story, the whole story. 2018, in the launch of Red Rooster Golden Age on Indiegogo, I began meetings with a successful Arkansas business leader about the unhealthy state of the comic book industry, as well as sharing my thoughts on how to repair the damage and win over new comic book fans. Elizabeth and I had our ears to the ground for some time, listening to fans, retailers, creators, and commentators. The time for solutions and action had come. This great American art form should be accessible and discoverable in the wild again by curious and bright-eyed fans. Our idea was pretty straightforward: to place amazing, new hero comics with unrivaled art and story, unspoiled by divisive politics, into convenient retail locations that serve communities where comic book shops cannot. The great success of the Red Rooster campaign quickly proved that there was smoke and fire, and we began to garner some interest from other business leaders in our community. I burned the candles at both ends for 2 months, exhaustively promoting our campaign, and we began laying the foundation for what would occur over the next many months. Through the summer and into the fall of 2018, I worked on the first leg of Red Rooster as we began making presentations and laying the legal framework for a little startup that could potentially change the comic book landscape forever. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and every door seemed to open a larger one until we were invited to give our largest presentation yet on October 26th, 2018. We pitched a major U.S. retailer and their national newsstand distributor on putting comics from a startup company with premier creators into mass market retail. Elizabeth, myself, and our partner, David, took it as far as we could. Sorry, this is page 2. It's a long one. We worked and waited. A few days before Christmas, we got the yes phone call. After the details shook out, we were offered a purchase order for nearly 1 million comic books, 4 titles, including Red Rooster, across 6 months as a pilot program in a nationwide rollout. We had to build everything, and I mean, 99% of it from scratch, everything from scratch. Starting in January 2019, the fledgling Allegiance brand had to find startup capital, build the teams, create the titles, create the company, hire and train staff, scout talent, negotiate contracts, invent a marketing campaign, produce assets, and so much more. It's been insanely hard. I was immediately pulled in 1,000 directions at once to make it all happen. Our retail launch is February 4th, in over 4,000 mass market retail locations nationwide. We're planning to be found on the end cap of the book section at a retailer near you. As you can imagine, the learning curve for this for a couple of artists has been colossal. This obviously created problems for the Red Rooster campaign. I spread myself way too thin for way too long. Elizabeth and I are heartsick. We're heartsick. We still are. Over leaving backers in the dark. Wretchedly heartsick. It really did weigh on us. Kelsey knows.
It was rough.
Yeah, but now you have the truth. Maybe I should have said all this sooner. But under counsel, we kept silent about our spectacular deal. And as other creators and staff became intertwined with the Allegiance Arts initiative, we had a duty to protect their futures as well, and we still do. Providing existing fans with amazing entertainment and winning new fans to comics was and still is our driving passion. We put everything on the line to seize a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to place world-class comic books from premier talent like Kelsey and Blake, David and Kelsey and Butch, into thousands of communities, and I mean thousands, underserved by comic book shops. We pulled the sword from the stone, and now we have to wield it. But I do not regret that. I hope that Elizabeth and myself can find some empathy and grace after these revelations. This unburdening has already been a huge relief. We will be working to address every comment and message from backers, but that is going to take us a few days as they have crescendoed over the past month. We will be closing the Red Rooster campaign on November 15th and giving everyone a firm fulfillment dates as soon as we can get solid data. This is a very high priority for us. The project is obviously behind, and I have to wall myself up in my studio that you see now and muscle through Red Rooster as our Allegiance staff march forward with all other duties. All right, last bit. I am committed to excellent craftsmanship, and that takes time. The overall page count for the book has increased to 68. That's 8 pages more than we promised, but this bird needs to stretch its wings. I will be doing some of the final phases of my Red Rooster work live on my YouTube channel. The chat is always a blast, and special guests pop in all the time. I want us to race to the finish together with an enthusiasm fitting for Red Rooster, Allegiance creators, and a bright future for comics. We'll be sharing art as well and updates, which will be occurring with more frequency now that the cat is out of the bag. We will be sending you Act 1 of Red Rooster Golden Age, the first 24 pages, as a digital download for backers in the weeks ahead. In earlier updates, I told backers that Red Rooster was leading us down some exciting roads. Now you know, though I wish the circumstances were a little better and I could have accomplished everything with more deftness and efficiency. Still, it is important to us that Red Rooster backers know first. I hope you will choose to celebrate this news. It's an amazing win for fans, new and old, for the talented creators with us at Allegiance Arts, and for the future of great American comic book storytelling. Thank you for reading this, and thank you for backing this very, very special comic book. We value your support tremendously. Let's make history together. Sincerely, Mitch Breitweiser. And then I have a special thanks to Elizabeth for walking into the fire with me. I could not do it without you at my side. And special thanks to all the helping hands, big or small, that lifted us up and helped us along the way. The end. So that was my letter. Aha. All right. Thank you for bearing with us while I read that. I'll see what I missed. Any super chats here real quick. Kelsey, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's great, and there's still some hidden gems in there to uncover. Some little secrets, and you got to parse this stuff out. I love a good reveal, man. So I know you guys are so anxious for all this stuff, but oh man, you know, the best part of a meal sometimes is the anticipation of it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy that.
Now you can smell it now.
In your hands, that anticipation's over. You got it. You read it. You're like, oh, that was great. And then it's over. So, you know, this is that sweet moment where it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. Comics Legend. Mitch, will the retail printings be different than the Indiegogo version? Yes. Will the retail versions, if different, have the thank you page with the backer names? Probably not, considering that that was a promise for the Indiegogo, and that's one of the things that makes the Indiegogo special. And our space is very, very limited in retail, like very limited. Plus, every one of these debut issues is oversized. So North Saga is 24 pages. Red Rooster issue 1 will be 24 pages. Bass Reeves is 25. And once you put that into 32-page comic book with everything else that has to go in there, there's just very limited space. But the promise was to put that in the back of the Indiegogo comics to make them special, more special. So that's what I'm committed to doing, honoring that promise. All right. So there's one question. I imagine we're going to get a few questions. So I figured this is probably a good place to address them. I'm
gonna smoke while you.
Oh, I kind of wish I had one.
Yeah, I need to crack this. Get this baby started. Get it smelling nice in here.
Oh, that would be nice. Dark Admiral March here. Will the books be in previews? So we don't. Our primary focus at the very get-go was to find other, like a foray into mass market, but the secondary, the first primary concern was to win bands and through Indiegogo. That was my focus, and then it was to find a path into mass market retail, and but we do not want to leave comic book stores out, so we're working on that too, and we will figure it out. So
yeah, we're definitely not the ones who are, just what that guy said the other day. Why do we need comic stores? And it's like, I mean, I found my first comic in a gas station, and that led me to a comic book store.
Yeah.
So that would be the ultimate goal, is to have people who haven't seen comic books in a while or have never been exposed to it,
I agree.
areas of the country that don't have comic book stores. And hopefully the growth of the industry will build again. Comic stores will start coming back. That'll lead people into comic book stores to find more. That's
what I thought. Yeah, it's a circle of life, in my opinion. It completes the circle of life. I think one of the reasons that comic book stores have been struggling, it's not all about the content that's in the books or the quality. The content and the quality is a side effect of the lack of fresh blood of customers. And so for us, I think it's an ecosystem, and it has to work on all. It's like it's an ecosystem. It's a very sensitive one. You gotta win new people, and with guys like Kelsey, gals like Blake and Elizabeth, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a transition period, and I know it's so raw, because people are actually invested in it, which is great, because when this pays off in the end, and it will pay off, the people that were along for the ride and invested will have something special that is completely their own, not part of the mass thing. It's like it's like when you get a gold record. There's lots of records out there, but you got that gold record, which signifies that special achievement. So these are the gold records that you guys have made happen. So like when the rest of the world gets their copy, it's like, yeah, you just got your normal copy. I got this. I made this happen. That's what I keep thinking. It's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
I would be in on it. I am in on it.
yeah, I was about to say. I hope so. We're counting on you. Okay, yeah, yeah. I hope everybody likes that. The reaction has been 99% positive about it. You can't please. I've learned through this process of you're never going to make people happy. You're never going to make everybody happy, Kelsey. Never.
What I like, I see this. Spirit's car about Ethan going with the what is it, the regular market. See, this is what I like. See, I don't think that
I didn't mean to highlight this one, by the way. Everybody's free to comment, but
no, it's important, because I've been thinking about this a lot, about how no one has the right answer yet. I think it's all of us together that's going to make this work, and we're hitting it on every angle that we can. You know, there's the Indiegogo stuff. There's going to be the open market stuff, and then the comic book industry stuff, and all of those should work together and help elevate everything. So at some point, all these books that we know and love and are championing today are the only ones out there that are making any kind of strides in the industry. And
I'm a rising tide guy. I think the rising tide lifts all the boats, and it's really dumb to start shooting other people's boats, you know, when you're all in the same sea. Nothing's good's going to come of that. So
see, I always referred to this as like, this is a lifeboat. It's essential. And then we're trying to, you know, save as much as possible from that sinking ship. But eventually we got to find an island. We got to find another rescue ship. We got to get off this boat and start moving ahead with our lives, because you can't live on a lifeboat. But you know, I never thought that it wouldn't work. I always thought we were gonna, and I still do think that this is merely an evolutionary step to the next program, the next industry 2.0.
Agreed. And just to respond to this comment, not all shops are the same. Just like you know, we just can't paint with I can't paint with a brush that broad. So I think there are some great shops and great shop owners, and there are probably some terrible shops and terrible shop owners.
I've been to every kind, man.
Yeah. There's Martyr Media says Supernova. Thank you. All right. Somebody says I mixed a little coffee with my whiskey.
Cheers.
All right. I wish I had a whiskey, coffee, and a cigarette like Kelsey's got every morning, probably. What do you think? We were talking before this. We're both in our bathrobes about maybe doing this every now and again, just waking up and rolling out of bed and just, you know, it beats jumping on Twitter, which is always a hot mess. I'd rather jump on YouTube, which is a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Twitter. There's not a lot of real movement there, but there are people there that I care about. So I know, and I leave no man behind. So I want to stick around and continue to try to be a positive place people can go and hang out and talk comics and whatnot. So I think there can be good. It's what you make of it, you know, Twitter. But YouTube is definitely more fun.
Yeah, YouTube is a lot more fun. I like that. You know, the context doesn't get lost so much, and I just like talking with the fans in the chat and participating. I love the level of participation, and they have great ideas. I've gotten great ideas from the chat.
I love reading the comments in the chat, and man, there's so much funny. It lifts my spirits every day, so I just get a kick out of it.
Yeah. So Elizabeth says, couldn't do it without you guys. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So glad to be back.
Without you, that's for damn sure.
All right. I'm way behind on chat, so the chat's kind of going crazy. I've lost control of this thing. So if I've missed the super chats, I don't know how to find super chat. I'm in the StreamYard browser here, so I'm not looking at YouTube. So if I've missed super chats, I literally don't know how to find them.
I'm looking at the stream on YouTube, so I could probably point them out. Let me see. What was the last one?
It was a $2 one from James Dean Anderson.
Yeah, proud of you all. Thanks, James.
Was that the last one?
Let's see. We got Starman for 100.
Whoa. Well, let's find Starman and put his comment up. Can I search that?
Stick with Kelsey and you will win. And send me my rooster. I do not mind it being late. You got
wow. I got to find this comment here.
Holy smokes. Starman for 50. Eric Weathers lettered my mailbox, I think. He letters everything. Pretty sure he lettered this is my coffee cup too.
I think, yeah. For
$50,
I bet he would come over there and letter your mailbox. Well, who was that Starman? I'm just having trouble finding it in here.
Starman, yeah. Let's see what else we got. I can read some of the other ones too, but let me get through the.
Okay, yeah.
I think that was the last super chat. Old Starman definitely had some things to say, and they were good.
Yes, thank you, Starman. I'm sorry I can't find your. Oh wait, I found it, and then I lost it. It's like this is so jumpy here. I'm really sorry, Starman. I want to highlight your comment.
You have to check your bank account for the comment.
Oh, there it is. Oh no, $100 for Kelsey. No, that was somebody else. Lol. So I guess the $100 was for you. we'll just split it or something. Or I'll buy you a steak dinner.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, aren't you coming up here maybe or Thanksgiving?
Yeah, just save some turkey for me. I'll be fine.
Oh, let's go get a steak.
Oh yeah.
You deserve it. So, okay. So steak dinner for Kelsey next time he's up. That's on you, Starman. That's on you. Thank you. Thanks, Starman. For $100, we could buy a steak and more packs of cigarettes. He said a stick dinner. Oh yeah, I get excited about that too. Yeah. When you can't catch a rodent around here, you gotta eat sticks, man. That's yeah. Here's Elizabeth. It's all about making comic books several again and building the next generation of readers. That was our goal. Look, I hope that we've been around here long enough and in front of doing this kind of publicly, and that you guys are getting to know who we really are and know that we're an honorable group of people who are trying to do the right thing, that we're not engaging in crap, and we're not attacking people and we're not looking for that. It's this is not about personalities. This is not about egos. This is about making comic books. We're taking a big effing risk to do this. A big effing risk. Everything is at risk for us in this. I'm not screwing around. And this is not about beefs or egos or personalities. This is about comic books and comic book fans and great American storytelling. Damn right. Like Nuff said, zilch. Everything else is crap. And if seriously, and I know the YouTube people. I know the YouTube people are here just for that, you know, and for the laughs, for a few laughs too. We're gonna have a good time in the process. We're gonna go out and we're going to battle, but we're doing it with a joyful heart and for the right reasons. And that's when we're going to win. See, I love a good friendly competition. Like for me, like I love all the books. I mean, I have a collection of them on my shelf, and it's growing, and I love all of it. But I'm also competing with all of them, so you better make it good because I'm bringing my A game, and I love the friendly competition because. I know, like for instance, what Ethan's did with Cyberfrog makes me want to elevate my game. Hopefully, what I'm doing with Nora will make him want to elevate his game, and that's how it works. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how, like when Mitch and I got together when we were doing Nora. I think the second time when we got together, you know, it was fun. There was even though we were jamming. There was like a little friendly competition. It's just an artist thing, you know. It's like, and then Mitch will whip out those colored inks. He's like, "Yeah, watch this," you know, and then masterpiece. I'm like, man, where's my colored inks? You know, I could talk. Yeah, it was. Yeah, those are great times. Yeah, I love that stuff. So like, I'm hoping that, you know, whatever we're doing. Will just inspire and help elevate the craft, and because that's what everybody's doing for me. I mean, I feel the energy in the room, man, and I'm soaking it up. Oh wait, we got another super chat. Real quick, I wanted to read one from earlier. Andy Hayes, how do you like your steak? A long time ago, I liked it medium.
But now in my older age, I'm kind of liking it a little bloody. It's got a lot of flavor when it's rare. It's good. Super chat from Reno. I hope I spelled that correctly. Reinoe. For streaming, get a second monitor, one to keep track. Oh, for $5. Get a second monitor, one to keep track of the chat, etc., and the other to see your presentation. Some people even use a third monitor. That's a little excessive. The third monitor must be for porn.
Okay, we got some clarification.
Yeah.
100 Czech shekels is worth $4.34. So Kelsey, you are not getting a steak. I'm going to buy you a McDonald's hash brown.
Oh, well, I like those two. All right. And we got Good Hennessy in the chat here for $1.99. Mitch, what inspired the 70s porno stash? Groovy.
It was all those videos you sent me, Ben.
Yeah, it was a little jealousy of the facial hair, but of course Mitch has got to be a little different. Got to go. He's like, screw the beard. Everybody's got a beard. Anybody could do a beard now.
Actually, I can't do a beard. I can't grow a beard.
Can you do? You could do. I bet you could do the little. What is it?
I can do a soul patch. Yes, I used to have one when I first met Elizabeth, and she hated it, and still gives me crap over it. They used to call me Soul Patch Chicken Bro.
What is it?
They used to call me on YouTube Soul Patch Chicken Bro.
You're never gonna live down the chicken memes ever.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna be an old man and I'm gonna see a rooster and I'm just gonna start laughing, and people are gonna think I'm crazy. And
you'll be like, "That's where it all started." And they're like, people are walking by. Children, don't pay attention to the crazy man talking to the chickens.
I'm gonna earn it. Like I used to be like real self-conscious about what people thought of me. You know, like I'd be in the car like jamming out, and then you see somebody and you're like, you know, and they leave and they're I don't give a shit. I just
no, we're having a great time. We're having a great time.
That's one of the benefits of growing older is you really stop caring what other people think of you.
Yeah. Somebody has a great question. Felicia Smith. This is the one for you, Kelsey. What's Nora? So let's talk about what Nora is, and then maybe we can talk about. Let me get it from your perspective because I've pitched it a few times, but you're kind of my guest here.
Well, Nora, I mean, it's where do I begin? Nora is in every I would say in every man, but in every girl, you know, she's
let me set it up and I'll tee it off for you. So Nora's Saga is one of 4 titles that we're creating alongside Red Rooster, The Futurist, and U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves, which is available in the link in the comments. You can pre-order them for our Allegiance Arts brand of comic books and stories that we're creating. So Kelsey is the artist for Nora's Saga and colorist, and Blake Northcott is the writer, and it is under the Allegiance umbrella. Please hit the link and go check it out. You can read the pitch right there, and you can pre-order a special printing, the very first special printing, Founders Edition version of Nora's Saga. But that's the backdrop. So Kelsey, I teed it up, so I'll let you bring it home.
I'm not good at the short sell. Like to me, it's just like it's a part of who I am now, you know, and it's so much a part of like just everything that I bring to the table, you know, and it's what I love about it in a nutshell is it's the classic hero's journey. And I really dawned on me when I made that video, and I was like, how can I mean, I'm not good at the sales pitch. How can I describe what this is? And it hit me. I was like, oh, this is what I love about it. It reminds me of all these great movies that I saw when I was a kid. Hey, Art. And then like Blake mentioned The Labyrinth, which I watched the other night. And that too is very much like that, about these young people who, and this is very typical for young people to be very self-focused, you know, you're really learning about yourself and the world, and you not that you lack the empathy for the people around you, but you're so kind of overwhelmed by your own issues that you tend to be very self-focused. And that's where we start with Nora, is she's dealing with some troubles, and she's very sort of self-focused, and she's not understanding what her actions are doing to the people around her, but through this adventure, through her eventually being cast into this other realm, much like Dorothy of Oz, or what's her name from Labyrinth, and all this, they're cast off into this adventure where they have to learn about themselves, learn the true meanings of life, what's important, and how to relate to those around you. And it's a growing up experience. The whole journey is a learning experience about yourself and about what you want to, who you want to be in life. And of course, it's filled with ups and downs, like your own life. You deal with struggles and you have to overcome, and you learn a little bit about yourself and you move forward. So, that's it in a nutshell. That and, killer art and story by me and Blake. But,
yeah,
I don't know if I'm a good seller. But
it's okay. It takes practice. It does take a lot of practice to pitch. I started, just pitching strangers on story ideas, a year or two before I got into Red Rooster, and it just helped. It's like a muscle, like anything else, and you have to exercise it, and you get better at it. Not that was bad. It was really good. I'm into it. I would buy it.
We get another super chat from Starman for $50, which is probably a
half a hash brown.
Yeah, my currency is not so valuable. Yeah, but you are, my friend. Glad you're here.
Yes, you are valuable. So I'm going to scroll down and just show. I forget the nice lady's name, but this is Nora's Saga. This is Kelsey's artwork here. Nora's Saga, from gym class to warrior class. So teenage Nora has teenage Nora problems. New school, new world. Everything is new for Nora, and her dad's trying to keep her single dad's her father, who's taking care of Nora, has to try to keep it all together, and he's doing the absolute best he can. But nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, right, Kelsey? We all make mistakes, and Nora's about learning what's truly important in your life, and sometimes to figure out what's truly important in your life, your whole world has to be turned upside down, and your current problems, which seem so great and huge, have to be looked through or passed through another lens that makes them seem small in comparison to real problems, life and death problems. Like fitting in with the cool girls at school, it pales in comparison to being chased by a axe-wielding, horn-helmed Viking, in my opinion. So that'll give you some perspective. So that Nora has to learn perspective, but she also has to, fight her way back, win over allies, so it's, I guess you would describe it, she gets trapped in a world of Norse fantasy, essentially, and has to make her way back to her real life if she can. That's basically what Nora is about. Still not the most elegant pitch either, but I tried.
I love how someone pointed out that Vikings don't have horns. And
I know.
I kept thinking about what James Cameron said on Titanic. He was like, "Thank you for your opinion. Now I'm going to make it exciting." This is fantasy. I don't think there were trolls and stuff like that in ancient Norse time. Well, maybe there were. Hell if I know. I'm starting to think there were dragons and everything else. So,
yeah, I don't know. The world is definitely not what it seems. In my opinion, it is in some. I don't know. Now we're gonna drift into esoteric conversation.
That's my favorite stuff. When if you've ever read Philip K. Dick, he was one of the early guys to propose that we are living in a simulation, and now science is starting to back that up, possibly that maybe we are. And so I actually was like, hell, if it's true or not, I like to think that maybe I am in control of my own sphere, at least my own sphere of influence. So, and I know that when I'm in a bad mood, people around me are in a bad mood. So that shows that I in some way I am controlling the energy in at least the environment I'm in. So I try to keep it good, try to keep it positive, radiate that good energies. And what were we talking about?
Oh no, we were talking about how the world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Illusions.
If it is a simulation, if this is a, and if it's like I think about it a lot. Where, for instance, I often thought I was special, and I was like, oh man, the coffee I like, nobody else likes this coffee. But I started noticing every time I go to the store, that's the coffee that's missing. I'm always waiting for them to restock that coffee. And then it dawned on me, oh hell, man, everybody drinks this coffee. I'm not I'm not that special. So, again, that's like way off the topic, but I think, I don't know. Making your own reality, that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I need to will people to stop drinking my coffee, so I'll have it.
Kelsey radiates weed energy.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, like with all of this, like with when all this started, like back in the '90s when I was first getting in, I was all jazzed up on the image energy, and then when I finally broke in, the bubble burst, and it was all downhill from there. So, and I had my ups and downs where I'm like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. Art knows what I'm talking about. Just I don't know if I want to still do this, but that love of comics, man, it gets in your heart, and it's just hard to let go. And I made a promise to myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick it out. I know I'm a student of history. I know these things go in waves. I'm going to stick it out until the next sort of wave hits. And when all this started, it was real confusing. I didn't know what was going on, but then it dawned on me. I'm seeing all these new and returning readers just coming to see what the hell's going on. And I realized, okay, well, this is not what I expected, but this is it. This is the beginning, the catalyst for that next evolution, that next.
Yeah. Well, you have to surf the wave that God gives you, No two waves are the same, but when they come, you got to be ready and jump on your board and go. So,
yeah. So I'm thankful that it's happening at the time where I feel like I'm at my most productive. The things are happening almost at the speed of thought, which is where you really got to be if you're going to do monthly comics. I mean, you really can't think about it a lot. You got to read the script, and that image pops into your head, and you have to commit, and you have to go. So again, I'm losing my train of thought. Mitch, help me here.
It's the weed energy.
Oh yeah. Just
I was going to add, let's first of all, I want to call the go ahead.
No, it's contagious. Mitch is losing his train of thought. Oh.
Yeah, well, I was going to make sure, because we're going to need you guys. We're going to check back in from time to time here. I'm going to be on here much more often. My head has been way down, and so is Kelsey. So Kelsey made that amazing video. I built that entire freaking Indiegogo, and that was a huge effort. I had to spend some time getting some of the art pushed forward for these projects due to scheduling conflicts. But now I am unleashed. We've got who's the campaign manager. We've got Patrick, editor at Allegiance. We've got David, who's our CEO partner on this. And we've got great talent who have scripts to work on and are unleashed, and they're rocking. The work that David Williams is doing is like the work of his freaking life. It's amazing. And we've got a nice runway, and I can finally get back on YouTube and talk to you all again. And I can tell you the truth. It pained me to not be able to share with everyone what was really going on behind the scenes, especially while people were legitimately really upset at us, because that's a legitimate gripe.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I mean, it was really rough. And if you look back at the videos, you could see the pain in Mitch's face. He was struggling, man. And it's such a relief to have that unburdened
And now I can work on Red Rooster again, and I can do it here on YouTube, and I can really lean into it. And we've got Patrick that's taken over the reins on Allegiance and making sure the other books get done up and look great.
Dude, I really want to just thank you for taking the time, and thank all the fans for, just I hope you understand what Mitch has done for guys like me, and hopefully for the rest, for everyone else, that he took the time to help build this for me and for all of you, and I appreciate that so much, and I think it'll be worth the time. And I know I've seen the book. I know you guys are gonna love it. I love it. I can't wait to have it. So just good times.
Yeah,
time
it's a book.
Wounds, dude.
On its surface, I think Nora looks like a book for. It could look like a book for girls, like teen girls, and it kind of is. It kind of is. I think it's a book for dads.
Yeah, that's what's funny. Is like I remember you saying that, and I was like, that's interesting, and that's what Ethan got into it for. And I was like, I never really thought about that, but this, in a way, yeah, it is, because anyone that's struggling with these kinds of things as a dad will totally see themselves in this. And I remember years ago, I saw this report about tweens and girls being like the next consumer market or whatever. And like, I didn't really think about milking them as money pools or whatever, but I thought, oh, that's fascinating that they're even looking at that. And I started thinking, it's like, man, I've really loved seeing the influx of women. I remember when I started in comics, we used to kick our comics under the coffee table when ladies would come over. So, the idea that this is now more regular to anyone is so great. And like, I would love to cater to that market, but you don't cater specifically to that market. The best children's films are ones that adults can read and see a whole other level of storytelling. And I think that's what all of these books are. They're all kid friendly, but they're all on a level that anyone can get. And that's what I love about all this.
Well, that was definitely the goal. I think when you mentioned that about the girls' book stuff or the growing audience, everybody, there was kind of the buzz, a few years back, right? I mean, that's a growing segment. Of course, when you're at 90% or 80% male readership, that is the way you're going to grow. I think, though, we can level some legitimate, if not broad, critiques on how that market has been engaged. I think in some ways it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity not to even just to reach a new audience, but to tell stories about archetypes that are just a little bit different than what we're used to in comic books. So it's actually an opportunity to pursue new types of heroes, in my opinion, that hit on different archetypes or experience archetypes a different way. I think a lot of mistakes that people make in terms of making books for girls or for that are trying to appeal to an audience.
Yeah.
They just take comics for boys and then just substitute all the parts. Well, right? And that doesn't work because the nature is different. And this is an opportunity to explore a completely new hero archetype. And that's what Nora is, in my opinion.
I thought what Chuck said the other day was pretty apropos, that, the 90s, we didn't build on the success of the 90s, we exploited it. And so here's our chance. And this is what I like about all this is that I think that this is such a struggle because we're not exploiting it. We're not going for the easy win. We're going for the hard sell, the long game, and making quality product that will last the test of time. And it's like what's his name? It's like old Yoda says, the dark side's quicker, easier, more seductive, but in the long run, the good side of the force will do you good. So that's, just trying to, it's, just making a quick buck. I mean, that's so ephemeral. It's so temporary, doing this. I want this stuff to last. I want people 20 years from now to pick up a copy of this book and still get the same enjoyment out of it. You know, that takes effort and time, and
Does.
a whole lot of energy and patience.
And so there's another thing that it's that may, you know, people think about, and it's like starting anything is hard. Like starting anything is the hardest. Well, no, it's the second hardest part. Finishing and following through and sticking with it is the hardest part. But starting something can be difficult, especially something this big, and that we want to resonate the way that we want these books to resonate. Because when you decide to do this and you're going to put a book out in the wild, and you decide, and we made a conscious decision to make sure all these books were great, like great books that are the setups are very, very, very thoroughly considered on all four of them. So the act ones, you got to set all these pieces up in act one so that all the elements in act 2 and act 3 all have these payoffs, right? And we build to it. All this stuff has to be kind of thought through in advance of even getting into the script for issue 1, much less the art and everything else. So it takes time. That great craftsmanship takes time, and that's what we put into these books in both the story and the artwork. We did that because the stories and characters are important. Their messages, I think, are important, and even their multifaceted, multi-layered messages are important. And we also, it's like pulling a pinball thing back. Like you want to let that thing really bounce around and fly around and give it as much momentum as you can. So you want to pull that spring all the way back before you let it go. And that's what we've been at least attempting to do. And I think we've done a really good job. I'm certainly proud of everyone.
Going back to the friendly competition, I mean, I had in my mind, Trocky for life, word. So when I was thinking monthly comic, I was thinking I'm gonna figure out a style that's economic and that I can crank out work. But then I saw what you and Elizabeth were doing on Red Rooster, and I was like, oh man. And then I saw David did that cover for Bass Reeves, and I was like, oh man. And then Butch's stuff started coming in, and I was like, you guys are killing me. Now I gotta actually work for a living. Now I gotta bring the heat, man. I can't let these guys have all the fun. No. I was gonna bring the heat anyway, but seeing what you guys are all doing just makes me want to try harder, and hopefully, again, like what I was saying, what I'm doing will just make you guys try harder. And it's like the system that you've set up will allow us to bring our A game because there's shifting seasons where we have, I don't know if you explained that. Maybe
I have it. Yeah. So in order to deliver the kind of quality in both story and art on a consistent basis without murdering all of our talent upon their drawing tables, essentially, we are separating our books into seasons and episodes. So what we're selling right now on the Allegiance bundle is essentially Nora's Saga, season 1, episode 1, and that's really issue 1. But we're going to call them seasons, and the reason we do that is because it primes you, and they're going to be 6-issue seasons. It primes you to expect a serial. It's language that that we believe the mass market will understand a lot better. It primes you for a break, like to expect a season finale. And when the season finale hits, it's impactful and it has meaning, and you're going to take a break, and that gives our creators time to catch up. It gives the Allegiance crew time to develop marketing campaigns. It lets us launch an entire second season a few months later or however long with completely changed characters and stories and graphics and whatnot, so that every there's a clear delineation mark, and most importantly, the talent gets to catch their breath, and we're not constantly just trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, on comic books all the time, with switching people out and moving people around all the time. That's not fun, I think, for anybody, and I don't think it certainly doesn't serve the product like we all want, I think. So, all right, I'm going to dig through and look for some good chats. I appreciate everybody coming in here today, and that was
getting hot.
Yeah, me too.
It's no longer morning. I gotta take this thing off.
Yeah.
Before I get sweat stains.
Oh. So, I hope you guys will. I think everybody here is excited, and I appreciate that. I'm going to be on here a lot more now, working, which is to my great relief. Kelsey hopefully will join us from time to time, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, actually, I like your streams. I just start working like we're in a studio. So. Oh,
nice. Maybe that's what we ought to do, is just get some monitors. Like everybody gets some cheap monitors, and we can say like we're in a studio, but like you're on a screen.
Yeah, you can look at there's Mitch over there. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that would not be a little annoying. We could just string a whole. No, that would be a disaster.
I'm getting ready to build a setup. I saw on YouTube. I was like looking for how to set your cameras up and the lighting, and because like I got terrible lighting in here. I don't have any good setups for drawing. So like I found this easy setup that's pretty cheap, and I'm gonna put the desk here and I have the poles with the cameras that can swing out and all this stuff. So I'm gonna do a lot more like drawing and stuff online, and I'm just having a blast. So it's like I'll put a little money into that and just keep the good times rolling, because it's just fun. It's fun community. This is what I get out of all of this business, is that it's shined a light on my relationship with the fans, or the customers, just whatever, I was insulated by that from the mainstream. They didn't really care, and they really didn't want you talking about stuff. So I just, like everyone else, just get in the habit of just not considering the people that actually matter. And so that's what I get out of all this. It gives me a lot of joy to like make videos and hopefully brighten someone's day, and even better, make a comic book that may brighten someone's life. So,
yeah. And I was telling somebody the other day about somebody who was going around, like, it's about changing people. So these two ways you can, I think, change somebody, change a heart. Well, actually, somebody wrote me the other day on Twitter with a really awesome message through Indiegogo, who became a backer for Red Rooster, which is still in demand until November 15th, and we're closing the store. Somebody asked me about that. So it's clock is ticking on that. Somebody wrote me and just said, hey, I had great interactions with you on Facebook, and and it was somebody who was like kind of more an extreme left person, and they're like, I thought all the Trump supporters were Nazis and conservatives were evil, and but you've been an example, and it was through your example that convinced me that that's not true. And the courage, first of all, the courage it took for the guy to write that, to me, I think is awesome. And I'm so completely honored. And he certainly changed my day, because I was feeling angry that day, and it gave me perspective. So I think the guy wrote me at like just the right time. I changed a heart through being an example. And I think there's another way to do that, and that's through story, because stories are so extremely powerful. When you put a story in front of someone, you can't change someone through an argument. Number one, you're not going to have an argument with somebody and change their mind or their heart at all, period. So there's two ways to do it. Either you live by example, or I think you could tell a great story. And I think, honestly, Jesus did both those things masterfully, right? He's the master at both of those. Those parables were so simple and so they'll resonate for forever. So you can change someone through example and through story. And that's what we're trying to do with Allegiance Arts, is change people's hearts through story, and that for the better, to challenge them, make them think about their relationships or what they're doing, or, you know, in the same way that the heroes get tested and challenged and have to reconcile their internal conflicts. You know, we empathize with these fictional characters in those ways, and through that process we become transformed, because stories have this way of putting us into this state, this sort of receptive state that makes you think about, you're thinking about mental images and pictures, and then you start thinking about, well, if Nora can change, then I can change, and if you know, if the writer and the artist could create this, then I can do this, and I think that's true white magic, Kelsey.
Well, the idea that the stuff that these characters are dealing with is universal. You know, we all deal with this. And that's why I identify with these characters and these stories, because I see myself in them, you know, and maybe they'll deal with a situation in a way that, you know, I never thought of, you know, and suddenly it's like, oh man, maybe I should reapproach that, you know. So all of this is very much learning stuff, and I mean, hey, I certainly am not one that you should be following. What was it? I'm not an example. Definitely don't follow my example. But
well, I mean, we're all full of fault.
You can let my work be an example. I put everything in the work. So
no, I mean, I screw up every single day in public, and you know, people still forgive me. But that's kind of what it's about too.
Yeah, dig Chrono Mechanics from Art, the true original Chrono book.
Yeah, Art T. Bear at Chrono Mechanics on Indiegogo. Elizabeth put the link in the chat. All right, so there's Chrono Mechanics.
Yeah, something I want to try to get better at, and I've been trying in the last few. Vicksburg. Something I've been trying to do is help promote other books and other creators. So like, and a lot of the Twitter stuff passes me by. Like, I'm not really aware of a lot of stuff, but when I see things, I try to put it out. And if someone is calling for help to promote, you know, I try to see it, and I'll make good on that. So if I haven't helped put anyone else's stuff up, it's just merely an oversight. And if you want to get my attention, just, you know, grab my attention. Yeah. I'm more than happy to share. More than happy.
Everybody, you know, everybody needs a little boost from time to time, especially the deserving ones. There's a lot of people out there that do deserve, that are working really hard and have talent and potential, and they're pouring their passions into their projects. So they will shine through in the end, I believe.
Guys like Scott with Doom Kickers, Vaughn with the Monster MD, Art, obviously. These are all guys working very, very hard, and they're very passionate. And you can just see that with their interactions out there every day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think, you know, I was going to ask you too, while we're here and we talk about Norse Saga, let's get your, I remember, let's see, I was in the Allegiance office, which we don't have. We moved out of the office and we're all working from home now. That was our partner's office, but I was in there for a good long while, and helped me. It was good to be there because it allowed me to be in a proximity to and have a place where I could bring people in, and it certainly worked. But we don't need it now that we're in full production because we're all working from home. So our partner moved to a smaller office, and I just work here with Elizabeth, and we're just you know, going to push through working from home for a while, because we don't need a big office.
Although I like every time I went there and I saw the empty cubicles, I just and the look of it just reminded me of the early days of Marvel Comics, and I just had that image that this is going to be filled up with editors and letterers and you know, people doing submission guidelines and whatnot. It's just going to be busy and exciting at some point, you know. But that'll be the new place.
No, we don't. We'll you know, our needs will define themselves over the next many months. So once we know what those are, then we'll figure it out. We're definitely going to need a place to work and jam when we all get together. So But I have a lot of friends and associates here in town with space.
You got a big living room.
I do have a big living room. I'm very blessed.
Not enough parking, but we'll work that out.
No, but I was thinking about the office because I remember making thousands. I made thousands of phone calls, but I remember one in particular because it was cold and it was dark, and I was the only one in the office. I would stay in that office till I would get there at 9 and I would leave at 9, and I'd be on the phone or writing emails from 9 to 9 every single day. So it was a lot of talking that had to get us here, as well as a lot of work. But certainly I had to have thousands of conversations to create this. And I remember one in particular, I was there, it was like 9 p.m. at night and all the lights were on, it was freezing outside. And I was started to pitch Kelsey on this project. And Kelsey, why don't you walk us through that? Because it certainly is very clear. It's crystalline in my mind. It's one of those memories I'll never forget.
I'm wondering because, we were struggling, man, and we were trying to get a bunch of stuff done. It was just dark times, and we kind of like bonded just through mutual support. And then you hit me up with this pitch, and I believe I said yes before the sentence was even out of your mouth.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in.
I knew. I had a feeling what you were up to, that you were building something, and I just was quietly watching you guys and seeing, and I kind of had a feeling, and I knew it, we were talking about this earlier about trusting your gut, and when my gut is all squirrely, I know there's something wrong with this choice, you gotta, but with this deal, man, it was calming. So
for you, not for me.
Huh?
For you, not for me.
Oh, well, yeah, you were in the heat of trying to build it all, but like for me, it was like, because when all this started, I was, I'm like, this is great, but I'm a long-term guy. I'm always thinking about what am I going to do 10 years from now? Where am I going to be? Are we going to have something to do? Is there going to be enough work? There's a lot of mouths out there trying to get a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough to go around. So I was really confused about what my future holds. And I'm a guy that's always thinking about the future, rarely thinking about today or yesterday. So for me to lose sight of what my future might be was a real wake-up call. And then when I kind of got the gist of what you were up to, just through gleaning through reading between the lines of everything I've seen you guys do, I had a feeling like you were onto something. And yeah, man, I didn't hesitate. I jumped on it. So that's it was a relief. And from that point on, those visions of the future returned. Yeah, and good.
Yeah, well, you certainly have been a great relief to us. We we wouldn't be here without you. That's obvious. So, I think we just got the right people. We got the right people.
Indeed, I think you gotta sometimes go with the flow. The universe kind of has its thing. Like I don't believe in predetermination. Maybe on some level, but.
I think if you have a true north and you kind of know it and you follow that star, and you're doing good, and you're doing things for the right reasons, and then it just makes sense.
It's like with your horoscope. Your horoscope is not actually telling you your future. It's telling you that the stars are aligned in this particular manner, which presents these opportunities that you can either take advantage of or things that you have to watch out for. So I don't think that's predetermination, but I do think that there is energies that help guide you if you just open yourself and listen to those signs. And, the universe led me right to this, and I didn't resist, and it's been great. And I think that it'll pay off in the long run. So I got no trepidations about it at all. I just feel this feels right. So
it'll pay off, or probably die trying. Literally, I just put it everything, and this is we put it all everything. Everything is at risk, so it's no joke on my end.
No,
no joke.
You know, well,
people are playing around. Like, homie, don't play. Homie, don't play. This is a big risk, and I'm not screwing around. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a blast, but obviously, I'm gonna be a little nervous from time to time. But it's gonna work out with people like Kelsey on our side, and with great fans that are lifting us up, like everybody in this chat, which we really need you guys to do, is to carry us to the finish line, because we're gonna need your enthusiasm. Because it's a good transition. As Andino Palacio says, must be those crazy twatter hut people. Our road to success with all of you on it is going to be full of trolls and hate and garbage. It's going to come at us, and we're going to just like parting of the Red Sea.
Hey, man.
You know, with all of our Israelites behind us, it's just going to go whoosh.
Hey, these days, you bury garbage and you build on top of it. So
that's right. Bury garbage and build on top of it. So I see Jerkmonger is in the chat.
Hey, Elliot.
Elliot Fernandez. I need Kelsey to carry me.
Hey, man, you're kind of a big boy, but I'm strong. I can carry it.
Does the road have pizza? Sure. Why not? Why not? There will be pizza. And we're going to have fun, and other people aren't going to have fun. Well, that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm having a blast, man. I don't know, man. It's going to take a lot to like knock me off of this cloud, you know. I don't think anybody's got what it takes to take me off, because I'm too high on life right now and enjoying everybody. I love participating with the crowds and seeing the funny stuff they do, and it's just trying to enjoy it, man. And I'm loving it. It's a blast, man.
I wish everybody could have been a fly on the wall with the trip to Vicksburg. We had so much fun, and like it's high creative energy when we all get together. I don't know, it just feels right. Feels right when we're all, you know, working on all cylinders, and we're like we're putting it into the books, you know.
Yeah, so. It's yeah. All right, we can go on like this forever.
Yeah. It's getting a little old. I guess we're kind of running out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, good times. All good, man. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
well, I'm really glad you got that off your chest and you're kind of able to kind of relax a little bit. But it's still a long road to haul, man. And
yeah, we got a long road ahead of us, everybody. So we just could really, really, really need your support and enthusiasm. It certainly has been if I wish I could tell you, certainly Kelsey gets a glimpse, but he doesn't see it all, obviously. But for Elizabeth and myself, the last stretch of road has been incredibly difficult because of the time this all took away from Red Rooster, and every day away from it and holding on to this secret news was a day of pain. Literally, like we felt pain every single day because I'm not a guy who holds secrets. I don't like that. It was tough. It was tough to hold all that in, and yeah.
Got a couple questions here. Papa Kanisu, what's it like working
That's a great question.
Smooth as butter, man. She comes so prepared, and I love a writer that thinks about character interaction. And I mean, I'm happy when a writer puts the time of day on the script, which is rare.
That helps, yeah.
So I love the detail that she gets into the emotional context of what is actually happening, because I like to have story on several levels. I like to have the visual, I like to have the dialogue, and then I like to have the subtext of what they're not saying but you can read it in what they're doing. And then these are the levels that we see every day. And we don't explore that enough in comic books. You know, there's so much opportunity for story. And so, like, working with someone like Blake, she understands that. She understands the emotional resonance of the scene, so that every page has a payoff, and that leads you further down the line. And it's such a joy to work with someone that gets that, you know, and Patrick, who also gets that, and he's overseeing a lot of this stuff. And I was immediately impressed with his ability to grasp the finer fundamentals of story, and we're in great hands. And one more question, did you want to add to that?
Whose channel is the Jack Show on tonight? That's for you.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to ask. I think it's on Cecil's channel tonight.
Okay, there you have it. All right. So yeah, working with Blake was awesome. I've told the story a few times. We flew her to Little Rock. Was this in April or the end of March? Somewhere, I can't remember. It was like in end of March, early April, beginning of spring. Yeah. And she came a little shy, but super sweet. And she warmed up really fast as soon as she got to know Kelsey and Patrick and Elizabeth and myself, who were all meeting for I've met you before, obviously, but she was being introduced to us all for the first time in person. She warmed up really quickly. And then when we got into that writer's room and she broke out those, like, I don't know, it's like 6 or 7 pages of stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good sign.
Yeah.
And we read through it and I'm like, wow. Okay. Because what we did for Nora's Saga intentionally, and I'll go through the backstory of this since we have Kelsey on and this is kind of a Nora related stream then. Even though we have other great products we're going to talk about again soon as well. All right. So with Nora's Saga, it began as an idea that Patrick, who is the co-creator of The Futurists and the Allegiance editor-in-chief that we were just talking about, he's editing all these projects now. He pitched this to me. We're longtime friends, like since college. So he pitched, and we have a list of ideas. He pitched this as a web comic to me. Like he was looking to do a kind of a gag web comic. And he's like, I want to do a thing about a girl who's in the normal world, but there's something kind of like her brain's a little scrambled or unwired up real weird. And she sees it as a Norse fantasy. So all these problems that she's interpreting all her daily problems as epic struggles with gods and monsters and Vikings and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So, and sorcerers. And so, yeah, we liked it. It was called Nora's Saga. And I love the name. And I'm like, but it went in the file. It went in the long list of things that like we thought were cool ideas, but you know, we'll just go back, just put them in the well. And so when it came time to think about Allegiance, and we had the Red Rooster, obviously, then we had the Futurists, obviously, and then Bass Reeves is a project that David Williams signed on very early on, and I've been wanting to do Bass Reeves for years.
So is he. I've been hearing about it for years. So.
I pitched it to him, and I went through a list of like 7 things, like here's this, and I think I ended with Bass Reeves because I didn't want to be like the guy who went like, oh, David's a black artist, and I'm going to pitch him Bass Reeves or whatever, you know. But when I got like, dude, you should have just led with that. I love Bass Reeves. I've been wanting to sink my teeth into that for years. Anyway, now I'm getting off course.
Dude, everybody wanted a piece of Bass Reeves. I mean, I was so jealous. I was so jealous because I'm like, oh man, I'm just getting interested in Westerns. And like, I've actually, let me just show you what I'm talking about how the universe guides you. I worked with Blake years and years ago. I colored Ryan Otley on a Chrononauts cover, and Blake was my contact for Mark Millar. How do you say his name? Miller, or is it Millar?
I always say Millar. I don't know.
So she was my liaison for that. So I had known about her, and then I'd seen her around. I saw she was working for Aspen, which I also worked at Aspen. There was just a lot of connective tissue to that. So when you said that we're thinking about Blake, I'm like, she's great. You know, I'm like, yeah, totally. And then like with David, I've been hearing about Bass Reeves from David. And then you're like, I'm thinking about getting David to do Bass Reeves. I'm just like, all of this couldn't be more perfect. You know, it's just, there's so many of these. I know I'm missing like a ton of them, but there's been nonstop these subtle connections that if you're not paying attention to the signals, it'll just pass you right by. But I'm very aware of this stuff, and I've just been watching the connective tissue, and I'm not even involved in a lot of your decision making, and you'll come to me and talk to me about some of the things you're doing, and I'm like, I almost saw that happening. It's almost like meant to be.
Yeah, there's been a lot of serendipitous situations over the last year or so. A lot. Like, it's kind of crazy. Honestly, it's really kind of crazy how many stars had to align. Dude, when you really stop and think about it, it's nuts. And I am getting off topic because I was talking about Blake in our experience, but
That's kind of part of it.
It is.
She was part of this, but from the beginning, whether she knew it or not, whether we knew it or not.
Yeah,
they were part of this. Butch, Patrick, me. We were. This was already. Again, I don't know if I believe in predestination, but this all seemed meant to happen. So,
I think so. I think we've got all the right pieces in play. Elizabeth and myself, despite being a couple of zany artists, I think we've built through good advice and a solid partnership with our CEO. I think we've been, setting it up correctly so that we can sustain this over time. We've been very, very, very careful to consider all those things. So lots and lots and lots of that hours and hours and hours and hours of work have gone in just to have the conversations and do it all right and appropriate and legal. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but we're just trying to do it right.
That's kind of part of even though this may have been destiny, as I see people in the chat calling it, which is true. You're not excluded from doing the work. It's a matter of seeing the opportunity and then going through the effort to grab that opportunity. And so you can't just sit back and think, well, why didn't this happen for me? Well, you didn't do the work. You got to do the work. And you were rewarded for seeing the opportunity and doing the work. And then so all of this that you're doing is basically
we're doing it now. It's no longer about me. This is now a we situation. So one of the things that I've had the great pleasure of doing over the last year or so is just trying to let my ego completely go. It's like, I got to let all that stuff slide out if this is going to be a success for everyone, because it's not about me anymore. This is an our and a we thing. There are a lot of souls intertwined.
Yeah, I've been with you from this for a while now, so I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that this has become a machine that is a perpetual motion machine that has begun, and we're really like, trying to hang on and trying to, make those decisions when you have to, when you can. And I was kind of on, this is why I'm having to shift my thinking, because it was really just like a small group of people, and you were doing a lot of the legwork to set it up, but now we got Kristen and David, and just everybody involved, just all pushing it forward, and there's a momentum building now that will carry us all along. So yeah, it's exciting. I have to get my brain wrapped around that this is bigger than just you and I sitting here now, which is exciting and thrilling, and yeah.
This conversation is going deep. Let me grab my bong. I think he meant to say going deep. Getting deep. Here we go. Getting deep.
It's all about diet right now, walking, and it's all in his brain. It's good. A little thick around the edges there, Elliot.
Well, you're gonna have to carry him, he said.
Specifically around the fold in the back of the head right here, where the neck meets the head. I got Did we lose Mitch? All right, now it's my show. Now, now, where were we? Let's talk about something naughty. Where'd he go? I guess we're done. You guys want to talk about anything? I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, Cam 1138. Seeing is what CG is all about for me. Seeing new adventures and succeeding. Laptop died. Be right back. I'll do a song and dance for you guys. I can't remember any songs. Row, row, row your boat. Cecil knows I'm terrible on my own. Cecil, get in here. There he is.
I'm
back. Thank God.
Okay. I ran all the way to the other side of the house. I'm a little winded. I should exercise some more.
I was about to do a striptease, man. I didn't know what the hell to do. Mitch. That's the 100 mile an hour Mitch. He had to run 100 miles an hour across the house.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad it came right back on. Yeah. So, yeah, with Blake. Yeah. So she came really prepared. She had an 8-page document. So we sat in that writer's room, the 4 of us, Kelsey and Patrick, me and Blake, on the first day of a 3-day writer's room session. And she just whipped out this like not a manuscript, but an outline that was pretty well thought through. And like, we all read through it and it's like, okay. Because when we took it to Blake intentionally, we said, here's Nora. And what I want to do is, it began as a webcomic, but I see it more as a serialized story that's much bigger, where Nora doesn't perceive her real world as a Viking saga, but she actually gets trapped into a universe and has to like crawl her way back, win over. I mean, it is a true saga. It's a true saga, a huge journey with a larger cast of characters where she has to reconcile all these issues that she experiences in the setup in this other world where the dangers become more real and her perspective has to change so dramatically. But there's much more to it than that, of course. So I'm not really spoiling anything on that, but it goes much deeper than that. So that was the idea. And that's all I really basically pitched her is it's Wizard of Oz with Vikings, And so, yeah, she came back with like a really robust treatment with characters and setup and payoff and an outline for the whole thing. All the act breaks were all there and they were all really good and punchy. And we read through that and we looked at Patrick and he's like, I mean, it's like, okay. It's like when he said, I think we're pretty good here. And so me and you, I thought we'd be in the writer's room for 3 days, all of us. So me and you just went off into another room and drew for 3 days.
Yeah, it was handled.
Yeah, and Patrick and Blake just sat in there and just cranked it out,
When we got Doug Tnaple, Kelsey, where's my layered files? Woot!
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming. I got them. I'll do it right after I get off this. I'm gonna take care of that, Doug.
Where are my layered files?
Okay. You got to stay after me. Doug's got the right idea. Anyone that's waiting on something from me, just stay after me. I need the oversight.
Here we go. So we got a business call. Hey Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hope all is well with you, Doug. You guys look great, and your books are top of the world. Well, it's a really nice thing for you to say, Doug. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. We've had a lot of cool stars in the chat here, so that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I do need an assistant. I wish we had like the Japanese structure of internship or not internship, journeyman thing. Where you go and you learn from the guy and you learn each step.
Was it Mitch? Don't kill yourself on the apology for being late. You're late, and that happens. But your quality will. I'll have the memory of your tardiness. Well said.
Yeah, well said. And it was the lateness combined with just carrying around all that stuff inside that is now in public. So it was the combination, and then just having customers that were legitimately upset with us, like kind of every day for the last month or so. And that was a hard one to take, because it's like, ooh, I know you have a right to be upset. And some of them stung. I mean, some of them went for the jugular, and it's their right to do so. But man, it's that confluence of things. It wasn't good for our mental well-being, at least mine and Elizabeth's.
Yeah, well, when you're trying to like really focus, and then like somebody in my world will say something, and it'll just stick with me. And I'm sitting here trying to draw. I'm trying to focus, and all I can think about is this thing that they said, and like what I should have said, or how I react to it, and all this is going on in my head when I'm trying to focus on drawing. So, it definitely affects you, but that's where some meditation comes into play, and you can just let go of all that stuff and get into the zone. And just that's, to me, art is meditation. It lets all of that drift away, but you really have to get into that zone, and it's tough sometimes.
It is tough, especially when you've got yeah, it is tough. And we're just, I don't know what you say to that. It's
well, if to me, it's like, it's not that bad, especially for the people who have supported this and they're waiting on it. I mean, it's totally understandable. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier to kind of get over some of the comments, but like I said, I keep my mind on the future. I keep thinking, it's like when I'm stuck in a waiting room, I don't sit there and think about, oh my God, I'm wasting all this time. I just shut my brain off and think about what I'm going to be doing later. And then eventually I'm in the car and I'm like, oh, it's all over. I'm not waiting anymore. So you just kind of got to trick your brain into just ignoring all this noise around you. Cause it's all has the effect. If it's not designed to do this, it still has the effect of drawing your attention away from what you should be doing, which is ironic because that's what they're mad about.
I know, it's pretty funny. I mean, you kind of have to laugh at some of it. It's, for me personally, it's not like the trolls, which are obviously, scumbags. It's there were legitimate customers, that were legitimately upset, and that was much tougher. It's like, hey, I loved you and now I'm disappointed. And then and they're real people, they're not out there just trying to hurt people like others, So that's the ones that stung. It's not the other crap, that's just the dog shit on the pathway to success.
Well, hopefully they'll stick through. The ones that do stick through it will be rewarded, for their patience, through just great work of art, and hopefully time will ease those pains, and they'll be left with just this great work of art, and that memory of all that will fade, so I play the long game. You got to address those concerns. I'm sorry for the lateness. We've had all this other stuff.
But just not being able to do it was the but I can now. And now, I feel unleashed. I feel unleashed, like for real. I am ready for the fight. And I mean the fight on the drawing board, and the fight of getting books done, and the fight of, winning new customers and fans and making comics awesome. So that's the real fight. Peter Smetty, we had another big star join us in the chat. Mitch Brightweiser, good job picking a name for the company that just edges out Alterna alphabetically in the listings, you cheeky bastards. Best of luck with the future endeavor.
That was the whole point.
Yeah, but all caps beats us by 1 too. So we got all caps, Allegiance, and Alterna are going to be right there side by side, which is kind of funny when you stop and think about it. It's just
Right.
how that shook out. It's a little weird. Oh my
Got
goodness.
a bug in here. All right.
Yeah, I've seen him flying around. Anyway, thank you, Peter. Thanks for dropping in. I hope the Alternaween was a huge success. I've seen people sharing their.
See, if you know artists, guys, you know that what Mitch did was a huge sacrifice, because being away from the page when you have something to finish is excruciating. Every minute that I have, every store trip, every day, every time I have to stop and do the dishes or vacuum or pick up prescriptions or go check the mail, I'm away from the desk, and it's anxiety building. Mm-hmm. So just know that Mitch is not excluded from that. So every
Elizabeth too. So Elizabeth is the silent. Let me tell you this. Elizabeth is the silent. I mean, I don't want to put, this is not the right way to put it, but she suffers much more silently than I do, because I'm much more a public figure than she is, even though she's way more famous than me. But she prefers to be in the background.
She has a great big heart, and she leaves it wide open for anyone to come in. And, sometimes she pays the price for that, but I'm so happy that she is the way she is, because,
any other way, that's for sure. But, so she's definitely been, I wouldn't be here without her. And I'm very glad she's literally walked through the fire with us to get here. So, so she's in the background at all times, and is very much a part of this, and has helped us achieve a great deal. She's always watching my 6 all the time. She's always looking where I cannot, or sometimes won't look. So,
or shouldn't. You guys stay off of that stuff.
Yeah.
Live in ignorant bliss like me, my friends.
Yeah, that's. I'd very much like to get to that. I've had moments where I've thought about just like unfollowing everybody but Allegiance creators on Twitter, and just being like, okay, I'm gonna go Kanye. I'm gonna drop everybody and just follow Elizabeth and Kelsey and Blake and Patrick, and just.
I do, man. Yeah, I mean, if that's you got to follow your heart. If your heart's struggling with this stuff, it's telling you to dip out. I know a few people that are dipping out, and I can't blame them at all. At this point, I'm not even sure what Twitter's all about.
There's a bunch of trouble, man. A bunch of trouble.
Yeah, I stick around for the few people that are still there, and who care about this stuff, and I'll continue to do so. So
it was great for what we did yesterday, like in terms of dropping that press release or Red Rooster update. I mean, that's really effective kind of use of Twitter. But man, if you're chit chatting, it just gets you in trouble. It gets you in trouble because there's no context, and then people start taking things personally. And then if you hit somebody with something that doesn't have the right context and they're on a bad day, and it's like, man, they'll take it. People can take things personally and make assumptions about people that they have bad motives. But it's not what we're about.
And what you see is what you get. And I've hung out with Mitch and Elizabeth and the whole gang. And I mean, if you guys know me at all, I'm not great at telling lies or hiding things. I tend to say what's on my mind. Yeah. I try to filter. If it's not useful, I filter it out. So I don't spend a lot of time, debating or whatnot. I'm just like, that's your opinion. That's fine. And that's what I like about all this movement for free speech. Is I like people to be able to be themselves, and whether you like that person or not, that's for you to decide. But I'm true to who I am, and I am myself out there every day. It's just easier to do that. And then Mitch and Elizabeth are just pretty exactly who they appear to be. I mean, there just is nothing else. In fact, I found out that he's way reserved on all this social media, and he's a lot more relaxed and cool in person. So yeah, so there's just not any horrible subtext. I mean, all that just takes a lot of work, and we're just too busy for it. So,
yeah. So he says, "Come on, Kelsey, you are the master of subtlety."
yeah, am I?
I think you're pretty good at it. Very nice. Well,
Hey, I guess we're hanging it up. There you go.
I am. I boomered it. I hit leave studio when I meant to. I was just scrolling around. Anyway, sorry about that. I think we kind of are at the end of our conversation. We've been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, and I think I think we covered a ton of ground. We've had a lot of cool people in the chat, and it's been a lot of fun. And I think this is the kind of spirit I think that we want to bottle and bring with us on the journey all the way. You know. So I really appreciate all you guys for putting the wind beneath our sails, because you certainly do. Or beneath our wings. Behind our sails or beneath our wings? I don't know. What's the right turn of phrase?
Up your sails.
But thank you for putting the wind up our butts. You're the wind beneath our butts.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Everybody show up at the Jack Show tonight. I think it's on Cecil's channel. It's usually late, like 10 o'clock in Mountain Time, I guess. 7 Pacific.
Yeah. Let's all have fun. I've got a lot of I've got work to do. I've got Red Rooster stuff to do today. I'm going to be back. I'll be back more often, and then I'm hoping Kelsey will maybe we can do these every once in a while, like once a week or so. I don't know.
I'm always here, man. I'm not. Yeah, this is my habitat.
I think this would be a great way to start the day for some people, like just some laughs and keeping it. People have stressful days.
Hey, if I'm
stressful jobs,
give me the link. I'm there, dude.
Okay, all right, we'll consider it. Thanks for coming in, Kelsey, and thanks for sharing all your thoughts about everything that's been going on, and a little slice of behind the scenes. And thank you, chat, for tuning in. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Everybody, pray for the comic book hut. The guy has some issues. All right. And for all the other people that are carrying hate around in their hearts. All right. Because that's a tough row to hoe, my friends.
It's rough.
Oh, I got a sandwich.
Oh, that's great.
All right. That's a great way to end the stream. All right, guys. Thank you, Kelsey. You guys have a great day.
Bye. Later.
End.